Divine Elements, your hormone and detox doctor. And I'm here today to talk about detoxification and why it's so important. So let's take a look at the bigger picture here. We're in a world where we're making significant advancements in technology and in healthcare, surgeries, in car industry. I mean, everything's booming, and it's a really exciting time. However, why aren't we making significant advancements in our health? Why is it that diabetes is on the rise, Alzheimer's disease, autism, cancer, cardiovascular disease? We're living in a time right now where, for all our best intentions and all our great growth that we're doing, we're stuck in a state of toxicity, and we're very low in North America on the world scale of overall health. And this is a problem. So we have to change the paradigm. We have to start to look at how we can heal our body from the inside out. How do we adopt some of these amazing tools that have been delivered to us over the years, and how do we start utilizing them so that we can actually get healthy? And so that's why, basically that's where we all need to go in our health. There's not a single person that would not benefit from cleaning out their system through dietary changes, through implementing fasting, as we touched on last week and the one before, to look at targeted supplementation where deficiencies exist, and looking at detoxification. So why detox? So we need to detox because we're constantly exposed to toxins in our environment, from the cars that drive by and the pollution that we expose ourselves to in the air, to the creams and things that we put onto our bodies where we have no idea what the names of these ingredients are, antiperspirants, toothpastes, mouthwashes. Basically, if you can't read it and you can't eat it, why is it going on your skin? Your skin has an incredible absorptive capacity. Metal amalgams are another chronic source of toxin exposure. We know to be true that mercury, which is a big part of the amalgams, off-gases at room temperature. Just imagine what it's doing inside your mouth. Notice the proximity to the brain as well. This is a major contributor to hormonal dysregulation. Vaccinations are another great source of metals. Whether or not you're on the fence of are they good or bad doesn't matter. The point is that there's toxicity there. Antibiotics, which have their role, but guess what? They also deteriorate the ecology and the integrity of our intestinal tract. So, I mean, these are just some of the more common ones. I mean, people also work in environments that are loaded with solvents and other chemicals and metals and things like that. Painters are a great example of getting this chronic exposure to toxicity. So, we're surrounded by it. It's everywhere. And it really matters, obviously, what you're exposed to, how you've been exposed, but more importantly, what your specific body does to deal with that toxicity load. So what is your liver doing when it starts to get exposure to these chemicals? And so detox becomes very unique and very particular to any given individual based on what it is their toxic exposure, but also, more importantly, how your specific body handles that toxicity stress. So these are vital components. So why I'm so keen on this is because my upbringing. So my parents and I, obviously, we live I grew up in a small town of Sirius, BC, where there's a significant amount of orchards. We get all the bountiful fruit, and it's wonderful. However, all the orchards, most of them, especially back then when I was growing up, were not organic farms. They were constantly spraying, and most of my friends actually had orchards, and we used to run through the orchards, eat the apples off the tree, maybe within hours after the sprays had gone through. Basically, if you can't see it, you assume that it's healthy for you. It's a fruit, but guess what? It's full of toxins, and because of the pesticide spray. So that, on top of what my parents owned, a concrete manufacturing plant, continuously surrounded by different chemicals and toxins and the cement powder and whatnot. And I used to work there from a young age. Actually, as a really young guy, I used to play on the concrete and get my hands dirty and everything that I could. And this is just the reality of living or having a family business and growing up and being a part of it, and working there until I was in my early 20s in the summers and whatnot. So these this was a huge amount of exposure for me. But guess what? Toxicity starts with mom. So whatever toxin exposure mom has, that's what gets in the cord blood. So my mom had all the mercury amalgams, as well as she, maybe ate too much sugar when she was younger. If you're listening, mom, you can attest to that. This is a common reality, and the common treatment was to put metal amalgams in. And so, here's mom with her exposure, living in the Okanagan with all the orchard sprays and everything else. But on top of that, there's the metal amalgams and chronic exposure to toxins through that source as well. So what I did is I tested myself, and this is what I do for a lot of my patients. We test their heavy metals. So I'm going to show you what my test is looking like and why I detox. So here we are. Here's my test. This is a urine test which measures heavy metals, and this is my pre-collection. So as you can see on there, cesium is high, which is a radioactive chemical. It's also part of an industry, so no doubt I was exposed to that through my parents' factory. Nickel is also really high. Nickel is not necessarily in of itself always toxic, but for whatever reason it's coming out significantly in my system. And then thallium. Thallium is another big one that's part of metal amalgams and whatnot. It's also in food supply. And otherwise, things are fairly normal. So this is before I took a chelating agent. Well, here we go. After taking a chelating agent, look at that. My lead and mercury are through the roof. My nickel's still high. Tin is high. Thallium is high. Cesium's still really high. But lead and mercury are extremely high. Well, I don't have metal amalgams. I eat a very clean diet. And my main exposure to mercury that I would know of would be through vaccinations as a kid and through my mom's dental work. So this is a pretty serious situation. So again, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I do all the right things. I exercise. I supplement well. I eat an amazing diet, and I'm thankful I have such an amazing doctor as my wife who can also feed me such amazing food. So we're doing everything right. And guess what? You may be too. This is the reality. We accumulate toxicity. It's up to our bodies to deal with that toxic load. So now we were left with what do we do with that toxicity. So as I learn more, as I work with these amazing doctors around the world to educate ourselves and have phenomenal mentors such as Dr. Pompa and others alike, I am able to advance my tools for my own self-healing, but also for every patient as well. So it's my goal to teach as many people as possible. And as I work through these detox videos, I'm going to unfold some more of these important things. Like on the next one, we're going to be talking about what are the different types of detox that you can consider doing, why some are more beneficial than others, and we'll dig through this together. I hope this information was very valuable for you. It's a little insight into someone who's doing it all right, and yet there's still work to do. And that's my job, to work on myself. And the main goal for what we do in our clinic here is we have to live it to lead it. If we're not practicing what we preach, we can't expect anyone else to do the same. So that's what we've got for today. As I said, I'll follow up with what kind of detox to look at for any particular situation. I'll tell you a little bit more about the one that I'm doing. And yeah, again, thank you so much for sharing, for liking, for getting this message out there. We're on a mission to help as many people as we can. And as we fix our own selves, we help to fix others and spread that awareness and the potential for true health. Thank you very much, and have an awesome day.